This is Rusty Griffaw, and you're listening to the Dirty Right Rear podcast. Come on.
This is Cruz Griffall, and you're listening to the Dirty Right Rear podcast.
Okay, everybody, episode 13. 13?
13, yeah.
Yeah, lucky 13.
Yeah.
Dirty Right Rear podcast. Myself, Jeremy Booyer again. Jeremy Sutton on the other end. This week we got Rusty Griffaw and Cruz Griffall. So,
Father-son duo, race car drivers, fabricators. I've seen you, Cruz. You're learning the torches there with the welder and all that.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like that?
That's fun.
What's better, working on race cars or driving them?
Driving them.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, you know, working on them, sometimes we'll get probably tired of that.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, stay hard. Work never stops.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us about yourself, Rusty. That's something we talked about on the way over here. You know, we don't know much about how you got your start in racing and where it all began.
I was talking about it, and I said, you know what? I just remember him showing up at Billy's one time when I started showing up, and he already ran modifieds. I said, I don't know what he raced before then, what he done before then, or how he even got started, or what age, or anything.
I was 16 when I started, and I ran just street stock, sportsman, whatever you want to call them. Farmington, they call them hobby stock.
Yeah.
I think. And my dad raced, and he's, Cruz will be third generation because my dad's a fabricating machine. All the cool little tools and stuff that helps me fabricate, he made. So, no, we ran street stocks, and then we did that for 2 or 3 years. That's back when Paul Belkin won every race, so we never really won a street stock race. We ran second a bunch, and then we moved to the modified class, and we've been all over the country doing that, and we've had a couple different stints with late models, and that's where we've been for, I don't know how long, about the last almost 10 years now. But,
Did you pretty much run, like when you started street stocks, all Peevely, stuff like that, places there, or where'd you kind of start at?
Yeah, Peevely's my home track for sure, but I've always, wherever there's a race, we're going.
Yeah.
You know, we even back then, we traveled all over and tried to make our car fit the rules close enough to at least let us race so they could worry about the rest afterwards.
I know I had people, we always talk about, all the real greats of everything, and a question always comes up is, for you going from modified to the late model, I mean, to go from total domination to jumping into late models,
yeah, everybody thinks I suck because I don't have a $100,000 car. I race a $40,000 car against a $100,000 car. Well, I don't think I suck, but we still win a little bit, but not like we did, in a modified.
Well, and jumping into that's like, from, say micros to sprint cars, it's a different world. But when you just have so much success in that modified, I mean, it was a domination. So, I mean, I know it's got I don't know what I'm trying to say is like, does it ever make you be like, man, maybe I'll go run modified again?
Well, even that though, it's like I've been so far removed out of that I won a modified race last year, and it's just, but to go back and like say I want to compete for the national championship again, almost you'd have to get information from somebody. I mean, the cars aren't just like these guys that are winning. They're not no better than me or some of these other guys that are good drivers. It's just the information has flowed their way, and that's just how it is anymore. You can't, I could be up on the cushion burning it down, and if somebody in Elite's down there just in the slick, just hooked up, they could still drive right by you.
And I was talking to Billy about some of that when we went to DuQuoin and took Zane down there, and I was talking to him about modified stuff, and I was like, I mean, does it feel like you're on vacation working on this micro? Because he said that modified game has changed so much with people just, every little thing they do on that car makes a difference in everything. And then we throw the same setup at a micro every week and just roll with it and don't really do nothing. And he's like, man, this is awesome. But I just think you would know more, but the modified game seems to be just more and more technical every single year.
Yeah. Those guys just ruined it. Honestly, they ruined it. You if you don't I don't know the radio term to say it is, but if you're willing to suck somebody off for some information, you know, or pay just an absurd amount of money for it, then, you know, you're just going to have to trial and error until you figure it out. But
that's crazy.
But it's how many, and then at that point, it's how many thousands of dollars you want to spend buying stuff that don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What about the late model game? How is it compared to the modified?
late model, I mean, the motors are what kill you in a late model.
Yeah.
But everything else is, you know, like right now, if I owned a track, like if I was Josh Carroll and I bought Peavey, there wouldn't even be a modified class. I'd get rid of it. It'd be over. There'd be B mods and late models, and the guys that with the badass modified, they're already spending late model money. They can go buy them a late model, and then we'd raise the purse for the B mods, and then the guys with the lower class A mods buy them a crate motor or whatever, and there wouldn't be no A mods.
So if you had an unlimited budget and you wanted, do you feel like you could compete better in a late model than a modified nowadays?
Yeah, you can buy your way right straight to the front.
Yeah.
That's wild. I wouldn't have thought that.
I like when I first started, like I'll use like Dylan Thompson. He sells all those show haulers in Paducah. He was a young kid, you know, back then, and I'd be out there at Paducah, and I could make a perfect lap and never make a mistake, but he had this big Hooter motor in. He could mess up 4 times a lap and still pull away from me. You know what I mean? And ain't nothing against him. It's late models. You still have to be able to drive a little bit, I'm sure, but you can definitely buy your way to the front, you know, in that deal.
Anything open like that, I mean, the sprint car game seems to be a little bit like that too. The bigger the motor, the better you are. I mean,
yeah,
that's what
I think. Sprint cars, you got to have a pretty big set of balls too.
Yeah.
There ain't much between you and death, I don't think.
No, I don't.
I'd love to drive a sprint car, but I like to race too much. There's just not enough options.
Yeah.
Within a reasonable, like I'm a 4 or 5 hour range guy anymore. You know, anymore I'm more local, but I didn't. I weighed my options on sprint cars.
You got to have a regular job.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So that kills the whole traveling everywhere.
But I definitely think a sprint car would fit my driving style.
You never drove one?
No.
No kidding.
Asher offered to let me drive one once.
Yeah.
Or actually a couple times, and I just haven't done it, you know.
Oh man, I'd take him.
I could probably fit in it now. I lost a little weight. I was so thick there for a minute. I don't even think I could have fit in it.
You ought to be able to fit in Asher's car, I would think.
Yeah. One time, long time ago, I was going to drive tanks one night because I was thinking about getting a sprint car, and they were like, "Man, the only car you might fit in is tanks." And I didn't even know him at the time, which heck of a nice guy, but he probably would have. But I don't know. I was maybe afraid I was gonna like it.
Yeah, that ain't no kidding. Yeah, that's actually when me and my dad jumped out of micros, and I got to drive Doc Sloan's sprint car for a while, and we kind of talked about it after. You know, I drove it handful of times, and I said, "Hey, I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore." You know, and my dad's like, "Why not?" I said, "Because we're gonna end up living in a trailer down by the river, but we're gonna have a sprint car." Yeah. I said, "I don't want that." I said, "Let's just chill out and not have fun and go travel around and do whatever we want." And then he ended up going camping. So our racing was over. But
yeah, he bought him a $100,000 camper instead, probably.
Yeah.
So what about you, Cruz? Tell us about your racing.
Well, when did I get my go-kart?
You've been going since you were 4.
Yeah.
If you could get a little bit closer to the mic for us, please. There you go.
And I got it when I was 4 for my birthday. And then we raced at Flickerwood. Every night the chain would fall off. and then Dad and Drew would have to be my tow mater. And then it was just a pain in the butt. So
yeah, I didn't know anything about go-karts when we started. So it was a big learning curve, and then I just turned that whole program over to Drew. We almost invited him, but we didn't know how many seats you had.
Oh, we have plenty. We could have squished you in somewhere.
Drew used to help me, and he don't like me anymore, so he helps Cruz.
Oh,
he's a lot more likable guy than me.
How old are you, Cruz?
10.
10, okay.
And now are you going to race the go-karts anymore, or are you completely done with it?
I'm still thinking about it. I haven't quite decided.
But you're all modified now, aren't you?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, what do you think about that?
It's really fun. It's funner than the go-kart, probably.
It seems like this year you're going to have a little more options, too. It looks like a couple people or a couple other tracks may pick them up.
Yeah, I hope.
I think, is Tri-City running them on Friday?
They got a few. I think Doran's running them almost every Friday.
I think they're going to.
Peevely and Benton and Tri-City's going to run them on a few specials.
Oh, I forgot about Benton.
Yeah, I know Benton's going to run them like. I hope they don't. Hope they look at Peevely's schedule because Peevely cut them back a little bit from what they were at last year. But I'm hoping that he'll recognize the value of them. You know, he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
But heck, I didn't even realize it. But like they ran them. They normally ran them before intermission or right around intermission because of the kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the kids was running late, so I said, "Hey, he's coming in late because he's got a ball game." I said, "Why don't you run him last so we can get another car and we can all race, you know, so he can race too." So they moved him to last, and I couldn't believe the amount of people that stayed to watch them kids. Like I was like, "No way," you know, because normally after late models, it's a mass exodus.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm sure at Farmington it's like that with sprint cars.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe the amount of people that stayed to watch them 6 kids race.
Wow.
You know, and they all, I mean, sometimes that's the biggest cheers of the night.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell us about the kids mod. What, you know, I know that's a new class. Is it fairly affordable or?
What kind of rules, like what kind of stuff, like
what's the difference?
What's the difference in the modified and the kids mod?
The difference is you got to run a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder engine, you know, and I know there's a lot of rules, but I don't exactly know what they are. I know. We put his car together with just stuff we had laying around the shop, and we made sure we had the engine legal, you know, for sure. That Z-Man down there had built it, but I don't know the ins and outs of all the rules. I just know that you got to run a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder.
Which I guess there ain't like super many of them right now, so that everybody ain't just going hog wild on expensive.
Yeah, they just
yet,
need to be worried about making laps.
Yeah.
Not getting wild.
Once if it picks up and it really blows up, then you'll be seeing stupid money. Somebody will throw stupid money at it, and it'll.
Yeah. Right now they're all pretty equal. You know what I mean? And it ain't worth. Even if they ain't, it didn't seem like to me it wasn't worth complaining about. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's a way cheaper option than like what you guys are doing with that micro, and it's something I could work on. You know, like basically there probably wouldn't. There was always a kids mod class, but the way it's growing now is I kind of got behind it last year and planted a seed in McGinnity's head, and then he helped make it happen, where he did make it happen. You know, he went to bat for us and got it going, and I think it's going to grow even more this year.
Yeah. I think as long as people keep it and understand it's a step ladder class, it's a growing class, then I think it'll pick up here in the next couple of years for sure.
It wasn't a hard sell when I called Farmington, and he's like, "Well, what are they?" I said, "They race for free, brother." I said, and they bring a lot of people with them. You know, his whole soccer team came to Farmington that night. You know, so there was, you know, I know 20, 30 people that was never coming to Farmington without that. You know,
how often is Farmington running them?
I mean, that was a spur of the moment. People got rained out and Farmington was racing, so I just called him and asked him if he'd let him come down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of how, you know, I think he brought that up on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, he did. Never mind. He did say that because Peevely's going to run him, so he said he wouldn't. Never mind. Yep, he brought that up.
But, I mean, if there's some off weekends, you know.
Oh, I guarantee you will, because he's running those limited late models, I guess, because some guy just put his money where his mouth was, he said, and so he's doing it. And I said, well, I guess, you know, that's the way to do it, man, you know.
Yeah.
Anybody that's going to pay for it or whatever, it's going to help him out, because, I mean, you know, from being around the Farmington stuff, you know, that Fairboard stuff sucks.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of where Josh is at over at Brownstown, too. I was happy to, you know, he'll be in a much better spot at Peevely, I think.
Oh, man, that's like when I talked to him and I said, hey, are you going to still do Brownstown now that you have the
He says he is, but I
there's no way, man.
I'm sure there's a lease there, and once it's up, that tune might change.
Because I was like, you own like the coolest track in Missouri almost. I mean, or around there. I mean, there's cooler ones, but one of the awesome ones.
There's no cooler than Peevely.
Clear. It's the best track in the
Yeah. I mean, I know where.
And it might, it might have got. It wasn't seeing its full potential, I don't think, before, but it will,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And nothing against, Ray was my homeboy, I'm going to miss him for sure, But I think that this guy's got big plans.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean.
And I hope they all work out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
New blood into anything, their first year or two, they're going to be trying to do whatever he can,
Yeah, it sounds like when we had him on, he's got some good ideas and definitely wants to get some fresh blood in there and fresh ideas. So I think the future of Peevely's pretty bright.
Yeah, for sure.
And
if he upgrades it, because he did do a lot of nice work over at Brownstown, I was like, I couldn't believe all the money he put into it, knowing that he's never going to.
Yeah, it's just
right.
See ya.
Yeah. So I mean, and hopefully he keeps them both going, and or if he can't, hopefully somebody that will keep Brownstown going, because it is a great racetrack.
Yeah. I actually really liked Brownstown.
Yeah.
I've only been there one time, and it's been several years ago, so
yeah,
I don't remember much about it.
It ain't too bad. I mean, it's a.
I went there for a MOA sprint car show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We went there for, I think, like a Wednesday or Thursday night part of the whole Hell Tour deal one time.
Yeah.
Just to watch a bunch of stuff, and it was wild.
Yeah.
They couldn't even fit everybody in the pits hardly.
No.
It was nuts.
What are your 2025 plans, Rusty? Where are we going to see you, other than Peevely?
Peevely and probably Tri-City, Brownstown, and then we'll kind of go where he goes. That's kind of what I've modeled my racing more around him the last couple years. I want to make sure he gets. Ain't nobody care about a 44, 45-year-old guy, but he's got a future, So.
Anywhere the kids' miles are going to run, you're going to try to pick up.
Yeah, we try to, if they're running something, we might head up to Peoria and Fairbury on some of those nights that they run them, and just depends on. I'm not a big planner, you know. I'm like, it's Saturday noon. What's going on? What happened last night? How much do we have to fix?
Are you planning on running for points at Peevely?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what they do. I don't know what their plan is.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that they're going to have that. I don't even know what they're going to do. I wish if you guys get Josh back on there, ask him how he's going to do it.
Well,
so.
I do know he mentioned wanting to come back on at some point and explain the points deal. Yeah. And I've heard little rumors, but nobody flat out say it. But apparently it's a pretty sweet deal from some of the employees I've heard that from. So
really, yeah.
But they won't come out and say it. And
yeah, they ought to.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost time. It's time.
Yeah, maybe we need to reach out to Josh, get him back on, because he wanted to come back on and announce that point deal. So
yeah, you ought to hit him up, even if it's just like a 15-minute blurb again.
Yeah,
because I mean, I was going to write down. I'm slacking this week. I was going to write down like all the good handful of tracks that their play day and when the opening day and stuff was, and then we were in Tulsa for that race, and so I had to hurry up and come back home, so I didn't get to really plan anything. I was going to throw out some play days and stuff, but
all that's coming up in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll figure it out next week, maybe.
Yeah, my car's not even done, and Drew's at home putting his body on his. I bent it all up Friday night, and he's at home hanging it. So we'll be done. But I work on so many people's stuff. I cut myself a little close this time.
The street stock that you posted not long ago, or the Super Street, is that something you're going to run?
No,
okay.
The Camaro or the orange one or the black one?
Yeah, the orange one.
Yeah,
orange one. No, that's a guy that runs at Highland.
Okay,
he's got a LS motor in there.
Well, I seen the number and I'm like, that's got to, that's perfect for you, because it was 16, right?
Oh, that was the Camaro. That was a black Camaro. That was actually an asphalt late model.
Really?
Or an asphalt, not late model, but an asphalt street stock, I guess. They race it at Lebanon.
Oh yeah.
So I get them from all over. So he just needed a fuel cell mount, and he wanted it had smaller door bars in it, and we beefed them up. We put some 1 3/4 stuff in there.
And then the Pro 4 that you built for Joey Laws.
Yeah,
man, that thing looks mean,
dude. It was so. I mean, I built that like I was gonna drive it. Because the last couple of years, they brought me some cars and just do a little sheet metal work on. I was like, man, if you ever want to build a race car, let me know. You know, and that thing is basically, I mean, I built it like a late model inside of a Civic. You know, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like if I did it again, I'd change a couple little things because that's how I am with everything. That's almost all the projects I get are like a one-off deal, and when you're done, you're like, man, I'd have done that different or this different. But normally, you don't ever get a chance to do another one. So, but I got it in the back of my head. If that one gets junked, we're gonna do a couple little things different. But
how late do you actually stay out in your shop every night?
Man, I work at least 16 hours a day, every day.
So, I mean, and you work for like
surveyor for my regular job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still have to wake up and actually do do.
Yeah. Yep. Start there at 6:30, and then we put in a hard day. But I take out time to eat dinner with the family, and we normally play soccer, basketball, or Fortnite, dude. It's Fortnite.
Oh,
I gotta
man.
stay away.
Half of the kids I know now don't even end up racing because they're all hooked on that or stuff like that. I know all the kids when we were at DeCoin, they were all in a trailer playing it.
Yeah,
and they couldn't find them.
Crazy.
Right.
It is fun though. I
don't even want to look at it
when I smoke somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you see me hit him with that grenade?
I following you on Facebook, so you just got back from a cruise not long ago, so you make honeydew time too.
Yep.
That's important.
Yep.
Bad thing about that was I didn't get to go.
Oh, man.
That's
And a cruise is legit. I've went on 2 or 3 of them, and man, it is.
Yeah, it's my favorite vacation.
It's my jam, man.
Yeah.
Walk right out the door, and there's, what cruise lines you go on?
We was on Carnival.
That's where I go. So I make sure I book the same room, try to get the same one because there's a soft serve machine like 30 foot from the door, and I bet you I had 60 ice creams all week, man. It was freaking awesome.
That's good for a diabetic, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's probably sugar free. I don't know.
I bet it is. Yeah.
I only ate half of it and threw it away.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, the food and stuff, man, is just ridiculous on all that. I love it. It's like I tell everybody, it's almost like if you don't want to plan nothing or don't worry about anything, go on a cruise.
They got it all planned out for you. You just open that little guide and be like, yep. Right
I can't talk my wife into going on a cruise.
Oh my God, dude! It's and everybody says I don't want to go on a cruise. I'll get seasick and I'll get this and I'll get that. Half the time you don't even know you're there. You don't even know you're on a boat.
We did book one, and then COVID happened.
Oh,
Finally talked her into it. We booked it. We paid our deposit. COVID happened, then it got pushed back twice, and that was the end of it.
I mean, I can't. I say you can't tell when we ate because we were towards the back of the boat. Sometimes you could feel a little stuff, and I went 2 of them during like hurricane season, and they just diverted around everything. And I mean, no big deal. But all the people say, "Oh, I'm going to get sick," or "I'm going to get sick," and
they need to drink more.
Yeah, I've never really
you
had a problem.
Feel like, hey, I'm floating on the breeze.
You get the drinking package, Rusty?
No, but
No, what?
We we drank enough on the excursion stuff.
Yep.
and like we had drinks, but I wasn't going 1,000 deep on it.
No.
I think we saved money by not doing it.
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna go hard every day, I'd say
Yeah.
But
there's too much cool stuff to do, and everybody says, "Ain't it boring on the boat?" And I'm like, I don't even know if I've seen half the boat.
No.
There's so much cool stuff to do, and if you're a gambler, like the casino and stuff,
they made the casino a lot bigger in this one.
Yep. We went on the same boat, and they're both older. I don't even remember what they were, but they still had all the cool stuff, all the comedy shows, and then every once in a while,
she loves the comedy show.
Yeah, man, they were awesome. And every once in a while, you'll book it, and there'll be somebody you actually know. It'll be somebody good on there, just taking a thing.
There was one famous one. What was she off of? She worked with Eddie Murphy and stuff. She's an older black lady.
I actually got to see the puppet guy. Dang it. Like before his time, he has like the jalapeno on a stick and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Dunham.
Dunham.
Yep. He was on one of ours, and this is before I even really knew who he was. And I was like, man, this is funny. This is some funny shit here. Funny poop here, And then I was like, yeah. It was pretty cool. And then after seeing him, he got real big. I was like, hey, that's cool. We seen that guy. Yeah, Yeah, Cruz is my
You'll
jam.
be saying like that about Cruz someday,
Yeah, there you go.
right?
Are you gonna be a comedian?
No.
Oh,
Would you say that you got interviewed when you were only 10, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come back and do this show when you're on NASCAR or something?
Yeah.
there we
World
go.
Outlaws or Lucas Oil. That's
We've had a handful of kids on here. At least one of them's got to be able
One
to
of 'em's
come.
going.
One of them's going somewhere, man.
What do you want to do when you get older? Do you want to be a race car driver? If so, what do you want to drive?
I don't know. Haven't quite decided. I'd probably either drive a modified or a late model. That's probably it.
So
be like Bobby Pierce.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce.
yeah, that'd be all right.
There you go.
He wins every once in a while.
He's the man. He's the best, hands down. I don't want to hear. There ain't no argument. He's the best.
So that's the only objective. You got any, like, if you don't be a race car driver, what else do you want to do?
Soccer.
Oh,
Soccer,
there you go.
I was do you play any sports? I mean, obviously soccer. Do you play anything else?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay.
That's what his mom likes.
Oh, basketball.
She likes the soccer too, but she was a basketball player.
There we go.
Something they can relate to.
The soccer was always cold. It was always cold when we used to play back
Soccer
in the day. But I think they
Cold
play.
or rainy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they play all the time now though. But
Soccer when we was kids really wasn't popular.
no,
Not like it is
no.
now.
I mean, we had like four teams, and we played at the Brightwell Park. It was the same kids, and it was always freezing cold. I do know that. I remember that part.
I didn't even do that.
I didn't even know soccer existed till
No.
in class, but I loved playing it in there.
Yeah.
You know, youth sports wasn't as big.
No.
Yeah.
Well, soccer, man, that's crazy.
He got 6 goals today.
Holy crap.
Man.
He had an indoor game this morning at like 8:00.
Ooh. Was that in St. Louis?
Yeah, Beta, South County.
Yeah, okay. To me, that's still St. Louis. You know, us
Yep.
redneck hicks down here from Farmington.
You got all the girls after you too, like all our other little race car drivers. Once you go to school and say I race cars, it's just like boom.
Long zipper syndrome.
Yeah, girls everywhere.
You go to Sunrise?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know your mom's a teacher there.
Yeah.
She actually has one of my friend's little boys, Jack Coleman. Yeah. They actually said they would listen today just because the Griffalls were on. It's episode 13, and that's what it took to get them to listen was you guys coming on.
Sunrise, how big of a school's that?
I don't know. There's like 300 kids there.
It's tiny.
It's tiny, so Central plays them, I bet. Yeah.
It might even be too big for Central.
Oh,
They
okay.
only
Yeah.
go to 8th grade,
Oh, okay.
so then they go to DeSoto.
I just have to get my jab in on Central. We got a guy that always tries to give me crap on here because I say Central plays all these schools that are, Mine Lamont and all those little Noblick and stuff. So I had to,
Juan,
Marquand. That's a new one. I need to keep that in my thing too.
Modesto.
So, Rusty, Billy Smith told me to have you tell a story about the time, I guess you took him in a bar and he ended up getting punched.
By who?
I don't know. He didn't tell me that part.
Oh, that was probably down here. I think it was Cousins or something.
That could easily happen there.
Where was it?
Cousins.
Oh, Cousins. Okay.
Cousins, I think. I don't know. I just started hanging out with him. I don't know what happened. It was at the end of the night. It was over, I think. If I'm thinking of the right story, there's more than one story. I don't know. These guys were. I don't know what it was. It's hard to remember, but yeah, Billy ended up getting hit. Jimmy was calling the cops. JT about dislocated my shoulder, pulling me off. It was he'd probably tell it better than me.
Billy remembers everything.
I got a lot of stories with a lot of people, and it's hard to remember them all.
I did notice you got some pull in the UMP late model world. I see that Mr. Rusty Griffaw got them to change their format at Florida this year.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's what Herm said.
Nah, well, I just suggested. That was actually for the modifieds, though. It wasn't. I just suggested some stuff, and they might have.
And then they went with it.
Yeah, I don't know. They changed it for sure. So it was kind of a bad deal, but That's all good. They got it sorted out. I think everybody was happy.
You ought to call them and tell them that you need it named after that, the format.
Have you ever went down there to Florida for that? For any of those shows?
I went to Florida. Well, we were on our way to Florida. We only made it to Georgia, and we got wrecked, and then we came back.
Oh.
So, I went with Cody to the fall race at Volusia a couple years ago in a modified. We made the show, but that was about it. We were about 100 horsepower shy of having what we needed.
Was that Cody Thornhill?
Yeah. Yeah, he's exciting for Farmington.
Oh, man, I already talked about that because I didn't really know him or knew who he was, and I was like, I said, man, I said the same thing, like when you go to Farmington, it sucks because sometimes the back half of the field is just, man, all over the place, and it just makes you nobody in the front ever gets to run laps hardly, and it's always yellows, but the nights he goes, I was like, I don't care because the one lap he does,
it's worth watching.
Is ridiculous.
Right?
Dude, I was racing him down there the night we won. I was trying to pass him for like 5 laps, but he was so wheelied up he couldn't see me. And I finally got a good run, and he just completely slammed into me. I was like, well, I ain't gonna get mad. It's his car.
Was that this last year?
I think I was there. That was when
he set the left front. It was so high. He set it down on the deck and crushed the deck out of the car. I was like, well, they're both his. I guess he can tear them up.
Right.
He really only runs modifieds, don't he?
Yeah. I felt bad because he ended up second, and that would have been his first win. But he had went to the back and came. I had no idea. I'd have pulled over for him.
So he's never won a feature yet?
No.
Oh, man.
Really?
He's trying his ass off.
I would say that he'll get one this year.
I did see he posted a week or two ago, "See you soon, farm" or something. So sounds like he's coming back to Farmington this year.
Yeah. I think he just feels like he's got one coming. He's tried and he likes it down there.
He's
a little more laid back.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the speed to do it.
Yeah. He's got good equipment and he can drive. He can drive the crap out of it. He don't leave nothing out there. You can't accuse him of that.
No.
He'll drive the wheels off of it.
I've never talked to that guy, but just to follow him on Facebook and see him drive a race car.
He's a hard-working dude. He's got like 10 businesses going, and he's busy, but he loves to race.
It seems like he'd be a fun guy to get in here, too.
He needs to get about 3 more businesses where he makes enough money where he can just hire him a full-time crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get enough, a little bit more wealth to where he can.
Yeah, I see him always. I see him always wheeling dump trucks and this and that, and I'm like
that. And if it's a snow day, he's putting on Facebook. If anybody needs their brakes changed, bring it down. He's willing to work.
Right. Yeah.
He's a hard-working dude. And I mean, when you're doing
his Facebook's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's.
I wonder what his old lady thinks about some of his Facebook though.
Dude, did you see that one? That I'm sure it got taken down. She looked like a dolphin coming out of the water. I was like, whoa.
He's always posting some pretty rough stuff with her, and I'm like, she must be cool with it.
She's got to be.
Did you see the Halloween one where he had the?
Yeah, I did see that one.
All over his face.
Yeah, I guess I'd have missed that one.
Oh, yeah, he probably got taken down.
I'll go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always got videos of it, all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, she's got to be sometimes going, oh my god.
He's pretty cool.
Now, did he just start racing within the last few years ago?
No, he's been racing a long time. I think. I don't know if you guys remember James Reed, but Mean Gene Reed was
James that lived. He lived in like Springfield or something.
He might be better known as Holy Water to some people, but he was from like St. Louis, up there where they were, and they brought him to the track,
Yeah, the first time I met him, I think he came to Poplar Bluff and had a bunch of mod lights at the time.
I think
he did. The guys he had with him had mod lights.
Yeah. That was
some kind of little Mexican guy. Yeah. Dude, that dude was everywhere.
Oh yeah, he never raced before, but he just bought a mod light. I went with him. We went over to the guy that Brian Worley drives for.
Hayes. Yeah.
Went over there and bought one of their cars.
Yeah, he had a nice car.
Yeah. He bought it and. He raced it 3 or 4 times, and then sold it for a fraction of the price.
Yeah. I remember I seen him when he was going down the straightaway. I mean, from the inside, he was everywhere. It was bad.
Oh.
Yep. It was wild because they said, "Oh, he's never raced before." He was unwrapping his gloves out of the package to put them on, and I was like,
He's a dog lover.
"Who's this guy?"
That's great. So one thing I ask everybody that we bring on the podcast, and I'll leave Cruz out of it. I don't like to put the kids on the spot.
Oh, go ahead. He don't mind.
That's Dirty Right Rear podcast. So tell us about the dirtiest right rear you've ever fed someone and the dirtiest right rear you've ever had someone give you.
I don't know. It's probably both involved. I don't know. It's hard to say. I've been in a lot of races. It was probably between me and Harrison or me and Weber back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you and Weber, that was
You know,
fun.
That was
we
good.
always went at it hard. I mean, we're good. I'm friends with both of them, now for sure. And back then it was just rivalry stuff. But, we all went hard. And I'm sure it was between one of them two.
Does Weber race anymore?
No. I guarantee he could still get it done.
Does he still come to the track?
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
He was fun. Man, when I was a kid or growing up, young 20s, I didn't ever make it past Farmington. And it was always a treat when you would come down, run your modified. Weber would come down, run his modified.
It was celebrity status.
Those were always the days, man, the good shows.
Yeah, sometimes I'd be coming just there from, I remember coming in there from we deadheaded from Michigan one time. We stopped at the house to pick up them McCreary tires or whatever they were running. I had a whole pile of them, 8 that I only ran them there, I got them used from somebody. I'd be changing the tires off the wheels in the pit area and go out there and race.
Cruz, you got anybody you've put in the fence or anything, or anybody that's put you in there?
I don't know. Tri-City, probably.
He got the spin to win. Did you guys see that at the end of the year last year?
Oh.
He got spun across the finish line.
Oh.
Ooh.
But he still won. So
There you go.
good.
Who was that guy?
Keaton Lines.
I had a feeling it was Lions because you two are normally up front. You guys going to let anybody else win this year?
No, he ain't gonna let Keaton win.
Yeah.
I know. Depends.
They all race hard. They all race.
Oh yeah, man, those kids are brutal. Actually, I mean, they're worse than some of the adults you see there. I mean, they're because they want it. They want to win.
Yeah.
They want to win worse than the grown-ups do.
Yeah.
Right. But we one thing we was bad at forgetting at first when we started this podcast was to thank your sponsors. So you guys want to go ahead and thank your sponsors?
Go ahead.
God, Gator, and the boys back in the shop, and all the sponsors that help out.
There we go.
Mom, Dad, and Drew.
Man, I got a laundry list, and I appreciate them all. But I can read them all. I got VP Race Fuels and Express Mart there in Barnhart. Iron County Recycling folks. Bob at JS Abishan Concrete. Cody at Turner Services, Turner Towing. Cody.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about the Bush Light people up at HW Harold. Kenny Harris flipping pallets with Smokey. MLA's Home Decor. Jay Bennett Renovations. Gary Gross. Have you guys had him on yet?
No,
we haven't.
We talked about him at the very first.
We had Tim on.
Yeah, we had Tim was our first show.
Tim Nash.
Yep.
Who'd ever thought that he'd have got so popular off that YouTube?
He blew up.
I've had a bunch of people ask me about doing that YouTube stuff, and I'm like, man, you got to do, like he made that one video of burning his yard down out there.
Right?
And that, I mean, you got to do something like that to get noticed, you know. I don't have a big enough yard, I guess.
And you got to, man, the time he puts into that is unreal.
I mean, it's your job, though. You have to.
Yeah. But, Ted Brown, Quality Paint and Body, Steve's Hauling, Arnold Masonry, Bob Black Cattle Farms, Beck Team Drilling, Classic Towing, Expert. Everybody knows Expert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're one of our sponsors, too.
One of our
They're one of the
sponsors.
biggest growing decal companies, I think, right now. They're doing a great job. Jim's Muffler and Brakes, Kryptonite Race Cars, Burwell Motorsports, MMR Heavy Equipment Repair, Brian Thompson Roofing, Imperial Bowl, Paw Paw Towing, Al's Service, Double D's Pizzeria, Dairy Cream, Tire Bargains, The Hangout, Horton Insurance, Z-Man Racing Engines, Hooker Harness, Bobby Burrows Auto Body, Dyer's Top Rods, and Burt by Sager.
That's an
If I
impressive
forgot
list.
anybody, and we got some new ones, I apologize. I haven't updated my list from last year. Some of those are mine, and some of those are Cruz's. I tried to catch everybody, but
So how did you, meet?
and Great Lakes Lifting. They just came aboard to help me and Cruz. They're out of Chicago. If you need any glass hung in a skyscraper, they're your people.
How did you meet Blaze Burwell? Was it through racing, I assume?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Blaze is a good guy.
He, I've never met Blaze in person, but he does iRacing. He's on our iRacing group, and
Yeah.
is
he good?
He's really good, actually. Believe it or not. I mean,
Oh, he's good at racing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he.
He's going to be good this year, I think. If he comes out with the same, I mean, the last half of last year, he was the best car in St. Louis. Really, I mean,
he was. He really picked up a lot of steam there.
He should have won that Fairbury race. You know.
Him, Tyler Worley. Tyler's really good on that iRacing. Those two always battle it out. You know.
His head will explode.
What's that?
Tyler's head might.
Oh yeah.
I love that kid though.
Yeah. He messaged me yesterday. Actually, we're gonna have to get him on here for too long.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's probably got some good Rodney
That's like-
Sanders stories.
Yeah.
It's like that
All
YouTube
them
deal.
guys know him from that iRacing. Like
Yeah.
he walks up to Thornton and all them guys. Like they all like high fiving.
Yeah, Tyler's actually got his pro card, his professional car. I don't know what that means really on iRacing,
He's
but
pretty good.
he's really good. Yeah.
Means
But-
you don't have a real job, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. If he's got that much time to be
Him
a
and Kiefer, is Kiefer in your group?
He never really has ran with us, but
yeah?
I know he's really good too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's ran with us 2 or 3 times, and he's always good. But he's
that?
always busy running the professional stuff.
Who's better, Blaze or Tyler?
Boy, that's tough. If I had to put money on it, sorry, Blaze, it'd probably be Tyler. But
oh man.
that's a tough call. It really is.
I've never got the iRace.
Yeah, I'm this is totally out of my ball game. I can't even talk about it. I don't even know.
It got put on the back burner when we started this podcast, so everybody's kind of mad at me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How's the podcast doing?
real good.
This is
Episode
this is blowing
13,
up.
and
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
we're getting our
We got to get Tommy. Should we call Tommy and see if we can get him on here and put him on speaker?
he said he
I
would.
like Tommy. He might not over here, but I like Tommy.
He said he would come, but then
He lost that love and feeling? or
I
what?
guess, man, I thought we were gonna be boys, and then we weren't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Were you like trying to reverse
Psychology.
psychology him last
Yeah,
week?
no.
Like, you're not coming.
He said he didn't really have time, and then we had our producer guy get a hold of him because that's part of our gig, man. We're trying to get all this down here to get it going, but so I was just over it. And then I don't understand his classes and all that stuff. I don't get it. I don't really agree with it, so it was just kind of
Yeah. He's probably just trying to throw stuff at the wall.
yeah. I just kind
What
of
do you want him to have?
I just don't.
What's there that, or what's not there that you want there?
I don't get the throwing people out all the time.
Oh, I don't
The Hazes and the Beards and all them, they all run Mud Lights, and they all have kids with go-karts, and they all have kids with junior sprints.
Yeah.
So he gets into it with them all the time, and they get thrown out every other week or whatever and all this stuff, which I get it. But as a businessman, in my opinion, I would personally not care about that. I would walk away from him and
Well, he ought to let you run it one night and
There
let you
we go.
take the
I'll
ass
pack-
shooting.
I'll pack
Well, I
that
think that's
place.
what it is. They get the cussing and yelling at him.
He
And
better
he's
get-
like, I'm good. You can take a week off.
Yeah. He better get some more bleachers. He lets me promote that thing.
Maybe he'll lease it to you for
No,
a night.
I don't want
See what
nothing
happens.
nothing to do with it.
We'll see at the end of the year if you still like him.
He's already ran their go-kart a whole bunch.
We've
Have
been
you?
there.
I didn't think you'd run
I mean,
that
just
much.
not everybody's not going to like him. And I can't say I don't like him as a person. I just don't like the ideas that's happening. And that's just my opinion.
I
though.
had that conversation with a promoter, and he told me, if you don't like it, go buy your own, brother.
Yep, and that's why
what he told me.
that's what I said last week. I said, just so everybody
ever
knows,
since
I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
So this is my opinion. It ain't nothing else.
That's what I always do. I don't tell nobody how to do their job unless I
Nope.
want to do it.
And I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna. I told him that, or I didn't tell
You guys
him.
just need to hug it out.
I don't know, man. I just wish he would let all the people come back and stuff.
Is there somebody not allowed to come back?
I don't think the Hazes are coming back.
The Beards aren't allowed
Beards
back.
probably aren't coming back, and
They're not allowed back.
The mod lights are completely gone. He took that whole
Is it
class
all
out.
over the mod light stuff?
I think it's just all over, like them all arguing and then all this stuff. But man, back in the day when Delaware was open, there was fighting and stuff all the time, and Bobby'd just be like, "Get out of here," and you'd argue with him, and then at the end of the night, he's like, "Hey, here's your check, man. See you next week."
Yeah.
So I don't know why it can't just kind of just walk away from everybody or whatever. You know?
I don't know about all that. I stick to. I got enough going on. I can't keep up with the baby mama drama.
Oh yeah, it's rough there, but I still think we'll get something going with it. I mean, there's no way we're not going to be able to just not talk about Doe Run. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's in the backyard.
Yeah, you guys just need to figure it out. Hug it out.
We'll figure it out somehow.
Well, if you can get him to come on, I'll get those two hugging.
I almost called him and brought him. Because she played me a clip earlier of last week's, I think. Was that just a clip of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fired up.
Yeah, Jeremy was fired up last week.
Yeah, I was real fired up. It was bad.
Believe it or not, though,
maybe I'll come back with him.
No,
that little clip that we played has gotten more reaction than anything we've posted yet.
That's because it's real. That's what people want to see.
People-
Right, exactly.
yeah, they seen that I flipped out or whatever, and I didn't really think it was that bad. I didn't say nothing. I never said like, "No one go here. Don't ever do this." I just said what I thought was kind of weird, and
It would have been better if he'd have been here, though.
I know. Well, that's
He
what.
could have had rebuttal.
See, and that's all this stuff we were talking about was the whole thing.
Might have been like jumping off the top of the ball.
I wanted that. I wanted to know why.
Rusty's coming out of a shell now.
Yeah, I just wanted to know why like all this happened, and I don't want lied. I want to know, hey, if you got into it with those guys and you don't like them,
I can't believe that. I know some of them people sponsored the track and stuff. So.
I don't think that's no more.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, but I'm saying in the past or whatever.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, he must have, just like you were emotional about how you felt about it, he must have been emotional about how he felt about something too.
Which is rough to own the track and have to be in the center of it. I think that's got to be pretty rough. Like I would probably, if I owned the track, I'd have to have somebody be my front man, and I'd be out on the tractor, doing whatever during all that because that's a bad spot.
You can give somebody like $200.
Yeah, yes.
I will give Tommy credit. He's really made that turn the facility.
The place is immaculate.
Place looks
place is
so
awesome.
nicer.
Yeah,
so much
He's done
nicer.
a great job.
He's just not a good people person.
I think that's rough, but and everybody, and even though everybody's like, "Oh man, I can't believe you lit him up. That's crazy." And ain't nobody going back. I'm going in 2 weeks. Now, if I get in the gate, I don't know. But I'm not. I wasn't telling everybody, "Yeah, just don't go there," and I'm not going, and I'm boycotting it. I mean, I've got a car, 2 cars that'll be there next week, and a whole crew of people that'll be there. So we'll see.
You think you'll get in the gate?
I don't know. I won't do the warning deal, and I won't do the whole paper or whatever he tries to make people sign to not talk shit on it or whatever. But
I didn't know there was a.
supposedly there is. I don't know, and all that could be crap. Who knows? But I know he gives warnings out because we've got like 40 of them, and I don't want to care. I don't care about that. I'm there to
Now,
pay
is
my
this
money.
with your team or Zane?
No, that's with everybody.
No, I know, but you got warnings from your other driver, or
I don't know about them during my stint with them, but I know that they were kicked out when they opened almost.
Yeah, BJ
But
and
but
all
BJ, here we go.
we had to get
bring
BJ
him up
Tinsley
every
in here.
single week. His dad, he voices his opinion,
oh yeah,
so it's rough. But I think they got in trouble one of the first nights that they were
No, they were never kicked out. He was
They were
just,
never kicked out. They
he
were
was
blocked
just-
off everything.
He was
and
blocked on Facebook.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
getting kicked out's not that bad.
well, I wasn't gonna
Places.
bring it up, but I go, you know what? I think Rusty gets kicked out of somewhere too every year or something.
Not every year. It goes in stints.
Yeah,
I get fired up like you though, and just
You guys are passionate.
about
Yeah,
it.
that's
I say what I got to say, and if they don't like it, they give me a week off. That's all right.
Yep.
Sometimes it hadn't happened for a long time because I'm so old now. I realize it don't even matter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in the future I won't get fired up over an instance with him. I hope I don't, but I try to distance myself a little
Yeah.
bit. It's like, because it has caused me problems, So it's just like, a guy named Al Crakey. He kind of helped wean me off of. He's like, listen, just chill till Monday or something, and then if you're still mad about it, that's fine. But he goes, and he kind of helped me out. He gave me an incentive program.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Booyer and Jeremy Sutton here with the Dirty Right Rear podcast. We want to highlight one of our sponsors, supporters, and everything else with Expert Graphics, Powder Coating, and Fabrication. Expert Powder Coating and Fabrication is a family-owned business out of Farmington over in the industrial park. You can go over there and get some graphics, lettering, anything for your race cars. Get some powder coating done for your race cars, any other kind of stuff. Get any kind of fabrication also done with them. You can come over there and talk to Andy Moss. He's in there just plugging away at the computer, designing everything, doing whatever he can. You got Dennis in the back with his lab coat, mixing up the powder coat, really getting the stuff going. And then you got Dan over there just fabricating anything and everything you want. But if you want to hit them up, Expert Powder Coating over in Farmington at the industrial park, you can give them a call, 573-756-7324.
We want to welcome Premier Door Company to the list of sponsors for the Dirty Right Rear podcast. Keith and Paige Jackson with Premier Door Company out of Terradillac. They do all things garage door related. We got sales, service, and installation of any garage door equipment, garage door openers, any garage door problems you may have. You can call 573-783-7775 or look them up on Facebook at Premier Door Company. One thing I want to talk to you about is the Dome race in St. Louis. What's your thoughts on that? I know you've done
the hype is just unreal. Like, people lose their minds for it, you know?
Yeah.
And it gets bigger every year. I mean, they're selling out the upper deck. You know,
Right.
they're not selling it out, but they're selling a good portion of it now.
Yeah, and I don't know how those people aren't dead when they leave, because you can't see from the smoke from like the about middle up. You can't see those people.
Yeah, I always just sit in the pit stands.
I was like,
Her mom was up there Saturday night this year, though.
dang, because
know.
I got pretty sick after, and I go to Chili Bowl shootout, all that stuff, and I never really get sick, and I got sick after that one, and could have been just from whatever, but I was looking up, and I was like, man, those people up there, I bet they're leaving with nosebleeds and who knows what.
Now,
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard of it, you know, basically about like the Chili Bowl. You know, they call it the Dome flu or the Chili Bowl
Right.
flu. It's
now I know you had to order a new car after that this year.
Yeah, I could have put just like a rocket front clip on it, but, you know, just being with Kryptonite, you know, they gave me information. If you don't have information from somebody, you know, you're just in trouble, you know. And it was worth it to me to just get a new car, you know. And I got their cheaper version. They got more than one, but so I got the car, and I'm happy with it. They do a great job. And like I said, you got to have somebody, or you're on an island by yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess that other car, I mean, obviously it was pretty much toast.
Yeah. I mean, if I'd have had a jig to fix it, I could have, but I had a rocket jig, but I never took the time to build a Kryptonite jig.
So even with that bad luck this year, will you enter it next year?
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be like it was.
Yeah.
You're basically gonna have to get invited now.
But I don't see him not allowing Rusty Griffaw in there.
Yeah.
We've had some highlight reels for him.
Right.
I don't know, we haven't had much luck, but we go hard.
Man, I know when you hit that concrete barrier this year, it was like a bomb went off. It was like
Yeah, we
explosion.
were wide open. I mean, me and that guy were racing for the lead, and he just caught his left rear, just caught my, right front, and it got me going. And the track was so slimy at that point, it just picked up speed going towards it.
Yeah, it looked gnarly.
Yeah, I know that event has come so far from where it started, and you know the racing actually seems to be getting fairly decent at times. Not every year, but I thought the racing was pretty good this year.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see a format change on that too.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear the rest.
I sent him.
I don't know the actual format on it anyway. Besides,
It's kind of like a split field deal, and I'd like to see them like split it and everybody run both prelim nights and run like X amount of features and put 20 or whatever cars and just qualify and run features, you know.
yeah,
And I think it'd put on some great races.
Sort of like they
man.
do.
It'd be like Survivor Series, but
Yeah.
it would it would be cool, I think, you know.
And half of the whole point of the dome is, I mean, survival.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would just put a whole another
It would
realm
be all
around
main
it.
events.
Yes.
And I just think it would be cool to do it. Fairbury does a race like that, you know, for their prelim nights. And they just qualify and put everybody into features, you know. And everybody make a little money that way, too.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's pretty top heavy. But they were talking about changing that. So, I mean, it'll be better, but it'd spread it out a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, with the extra money, they're going to have to cap all that now, I would imagine.
Yeah.
What is your favorite racetrack to race on?
Peevely.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've been everywhere, and I've won like a couple hundred features in like 8-9 different states at like 35 different racetracks, and Peevely's the best.
Man, that's awesome. And it's in, more or less our backyard.
And everybody says, "Oh, everywhere I go, and beat somebody." You know, when I back in the day, you know. They'd be like, "Oh man, if you can win here, you can win anywhere." I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard that about 20 different places." And you know, it's just, but that's how everybody was back at, you know, like I was just one guy from Peevely, but there was 20 when I started that could go and do that. You know,
Right.
I mean, there was some really good guys. I mean, there'd be 70 cars there on a regular night when I first started. Just like, I mean, it would be like a rain. Some other tracks got rain, but you could see 70 cars show up on a regular night.
Yeah. I remember when you'd drive by on the highway and you'd see that place, there wasn't a seat there, and it would be a normal show.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Cruz? What's your favorite racetrack to race on?
Race on Peevely.
Beasley. Okay.
But if we're not racing on it, for some reason I like Kentucky Lake.
Yeah. You like that place is high bank too, but what's more bank, that or Peevely?
I like Kentucky
On the
Lake.
video game or what?
I just like it. I don't know. I know. But if it was open, I would say.
Oh, okay.
It would miss it.
You like racing Tri-City, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peevely's a little bit better.
Yeah.
You're going to go faster at Peevely.
Got a little banking there.
Yeah.
Banking makes up for a lot, too. You
Yeah,
know,
and
your
Peevely's
car
got
don't
that.
have to be as quite as good with that banking. You can miss a little bit, and that banking will save you.
How many feature wins you got so far?
Me? Kids mod?
Yep.
4.
4. What about the go-karts?
Like 30-something?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dang.
So it's funny because you know how Facebook now, when you post stuff and you know AI generated to bring up Rusty Griffaw stats, and I clicked on Cruz Griffall yesterday, and it said you had 6 wins and 21 starts. They're a little behind, but they did say you have a little nickname of Little Flash.
No.
No?
Uh-oh.
I prefer it not.
Is there another nickname?
You gonna get your own?
Show.
What is it?
Puncho.
Puncho. Okay.
Yeah, he had a phase where he was punching everybody in the
Oh.
nuts. So my buddy started calling him Puncho.
That's great.
He grew out of that, though. I think one of his buddies at school showed him what it felt like.
Yeah.
Did you ever punch Dad?
No.
No. I was afraid to.
He wouldn't hit you back,
Yeah,
would
he
he?
got the crew guy. He got
Yeah.
Drew and Steve for sure.
What'd you get, 16 or
I
something
think
like
Jimmy
that?
Gearing got one, and he body slammed him. he put him in the pavement, I think. Didn't he?
No. He threw me across Grandma's house.
That's it.
One thing I like to ask the youngsters that come on, do you have a favorite pre-race drink, Cruz?
Pre-race drink?
Brisk.
Yeah, brisk.
What was that?
Tea.
Every
Brisk.
kid drinks tea now.
Yeah.
We drank a lot of brisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brisk movement going
What
on.
do you have a favorite pre-race food or meal?
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburger from the racetrack?
Yeah.
All right.
Best.
What do you put on them?
Just ketchup and pickles.
Pickles and ketchup.
And they normally put cheese on there, but if they don't
Well,
put cheese,
yeah.
I'll put cheese.
What racetrack in your mind or your opinion has the best cheeseburger?
I like Peebley's cheese.
Beaverly's? All right.
We're big fans of Peevely.
Yeah. I like them. I don't know
I
if
like
they have them.
the nachos at Tri-City, though.
When Charlie ran Brownstown, they had some killer ribeye sandwiches.
I liked the mozzarella sticks at Peevely there for a long time, but I don't even know if they still have.
Oh, they still do.
The little logs. They look like little logs.
Yeah.
I like them onion petals they used to have.
Oh,
Everybody got away from them though.
And Farmington still has them.
onion chips.
Yeah.
And get cheese on them, and you can't even see the chips.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it's at.
What about you, Rusty? Do you have a...
I don't eat before I race. I get sick.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I told myself when I quit getting sick before I race, it's time to quit because I quit caring. You know what I mean? So I get nerved up still.
I was about to ask if it was nerves.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dang, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, right.
I eat afterwards.
Guy that's won all over the country and he still gets nervous. That's crazy.
I care about it.
I figure you'd still be like eating the cheeseburger and just throwing it out the door before you put your helmet on.
I mean, every once in a while, if it's a late night, like we've been there a long time, I might have to try and get a bite of something, but it's something I try to get something that ain't gonna make my stomach upset, and I ain't eating a bunch.
What would you call your biggest or most memorable win?
I don't know. I've had a ton of them. I guess one I remember a lot is and it was an Illinois Speed Week a long time ago on the Tri-City quarter mile. It was, I think, might have been sprint cars on the half mile. We were on the quarter mile, and I passed Bobby Martin-Tony on the last lap to win the race. And I mean, it wasn't a huge win. I won more money races, but I don't know. I remember that race a lot. It was one of them deals where we were racing through lap traffic, and he got caught up behind a lap car on the bottom, and I buzzed around the top and passed him on the last turn. And it was just cool.
Is that one of those that are you go by him in 3 and 4 in the high shot? Are you yelling and screaming?
I wanted to make sure I got to the back of the line first. No, I don't yell and scream in there, but I'm like, yeah, I mean,
I do.
What about? Yeah, I was gonna say, Cruz. What about you? When you win, what do you do?
I just scream. I don't know. Depends. I normally scream when I get crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets livid whenever somebody.
Oh yeah.
That seems to be the going rate with the younger ones because they're like, I say all kinds of stuff that I can't say and because no one can hear me.
His arms go up immediately. If we got all of his videos, his arms are up.
Did you get that from Dad?
No. Well, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Dad gets more mad. He'll get out of the car. He'll start throwing stuff.
What's Dad throw when he wrecks?
I don't throw nothing.
You kick doors though.
Door once.
Your own doors or other doors?
Both, maybe. I don't throw nothing though because I don't want to have to replace it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm cheap.
I thought you threw your helmet once.
No, I ain't never thrown my helmet.
That's one thing I can say over the years. I don't know you personally, but watching from afar is you're not one of these guys that has the best equipment. You seem to take a lot of used parts and a lot of parts you build and
Saved like $300 a day just making stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I know Cruz's car is modified. It's an older car, isn't it?
It's just a car I built in my garage. It's all homemade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I built it and I raced it. I won with it very first night out, 2 or 3. Oh, it was 2020. Very first night out, I brought it to Farmington. Right after the pandemic stuff was over, and I won with it. And then it was me and Jim was going to kind of split it, but then he never hardly drove it, and then he sold. Nash blew up his motor, and he sold the motor out of it to Nash, and that was the motor we had for it. So it kind of just sat around for a while because I didn't have an engine for it. And then it kind of traded hands. Jim did end up taking it to the Dome because he didn't want to take his better car or whatever. And then it changed hands. One of my other buddies bought it, and then I bought it back for him. But it only had like 10 nights on it total,
What happened? Did Jim just kind of give up racing or no?
No, he's back in full force.
Oh, is he this year?
Yeah. He's
the junkyard dog coming back.
He is the most excited about racing as I've ever seen him right now, and
Really?
I'm happy about it.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
You going A-mod racing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's got him a nice elite car and a spec motor, and he's ready to rock.
Elite car, that seems to be the wanted thing right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know modifieds, but I see that. So
Yeah.
Man, I know, especially the big Florida tracks, man, elite cars are so good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're definitely the best right now.
Are they that good around here as well?
Yeah.
Are they?
They're good anywhere where it gets slick. And
Okay.
like I said, they're so hooked up now, I don't even really, it don't matter if there's a cushion or not. They're just, they're good. I mean, I got them at number 1, and those diamond cars, probably at number 2. Like if somebody said, I'm going to buy you a car, go get one, I'd probably go get a diamond car.
Who builds the diamond cars?
Hey, Dillard.
No, Ryan Thomas.
Oh.
K. Dillard builds CDRs.
Oh.
But I'd get
They're
a
all the
diamond
same.
car because I think they're just about equivalent to an elite without
The price.
the price. Well, I don't know. They're pretty expensive too, but I think he shares information more.
Oh, okay.
I think you got to be in with the in crowd with some of that elite stuff.
Yeah. Well, got anything else you want to talk to these guys about? Or
I don't know, man. I mean, it's about all I have.
about all I got? We've taken up enough of their time.
Yeah, we're gonna go get back to work when we leave here.
No, what are you guys working on when you leave?
I'm building my car.
You gonna be ready for opening night?
They're getting it ready. So
Well, that's another thing. Do you know what the wrap's gonna look like this year?
I'm planning on like black, white, and purple.
Okay.
We got a new fire suit, and that's what we made.
Oh, there we go.
I know.
What about yours?
I gotta be the same.
Oh, you got to be
You
the
don't gotta
same.
be the same. I tried to. We had blue sheet metal left. I tried to get him to stay blue.
I said white, blue, and orange.
You can be white, blue, and orange. I'm not making you be the same.
I'll be the same.
So let's put a little family bet here. Who's gonna win the most features this year?
I don't know.
I've been rowing, so I'm almost back to my peak shape.
Oh, man.
I got this rowing machine about this time last year, and I'm up to 700 rows and on the hardest setting. So I'm a rowing machine. So I'm gonna. If the car's good, we're gonna be good, and I think it's gonna be good.
You going to start working out?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, he runs that soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
He's got cardio.
You get big old muscles there. The chicks will dig that too, just like that
yeah.
race car.
Well, you may
They
not.
love him. The chicks love him.
Yeah. Good deal.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on our episode 13 here, the Dirty Right Rear podcast, and we wish you guys luck this year and hope to catch up to you at the racetrack somewhere.
Yep. Good
Thanks for
luck
coming on, guys.
Yeah, good luck to the podcast. I hope it grows and does whatever you want it to do.
I appreciate that. I don't know how to answer that 'cause I don't know what we want.
Yeah.
We went into this hoping to get
Joe
to.
Rogan status would be the.
That'd be all right.
He's been calling me, but I don't answer.
We went into this with 2 episodes on the mind, and this is 13. So
Yeah, just keep rolling.
Yeah.
And we've got a list of people still that want to come on till May.
yeah, we've got a lot of
If you guys
sponsors
run
behind
out,
us.
Let
And,
me know. I'll try to think of some people I think would be good.
yeah, we're open for suggestions anytime. So
Yeah. When you guys run dry, let me know.
Okay.
thank you guys for coming
Thank you
on.
guys.